Is this the end for Pokemon Showdown? Many people in the Pokemon community are worried that it is, because Kotaku is effectively the death call for fan projects. So we have PokeExperto retweeting from their personal account, kind of making this like an opinion piece that's worthy of news. I have the impression that this article could be the end of Pokemon Showdown, and the thing is, it's not just like one person being crazy, doom and gloom and negative. We also have PokeJungle and hundreds of other people in the Pokemon community because they've seen this before. Kotaku publicizing this could spell the end of Showdown. Remember when Polygon killed the other fan game by writing about it? I'm pretty sure it's more than like just Kotaku and Polygon explicitly killing just like Pokemon games and other games. I thought there was a lot. Like once the Metroid fan project got out, that got shut down. We have Pokemon Uranium. We have some other Pokemon projects. And then the weird thing is, it took years for Pixelmon to get shut down. It finally eventually did. Same thing happened with Brick Bronze. It wasn't around as long, but yeah, they all got shut down kind of within the same, like within a couple months of each other. So we got some weird stuff coming in, and now the idea being Kotaku making this article, it's mainstream, it's branded, Pokemon Showdown is going away. So there's going to be a couple of weird things I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you end up enjoying it, don't forget to leave a like, share with your friends. I want to know what you think down below, because personally, I say that Pokemon Showdown has got to go. I've been wanting it gone for years, and that's one of the things that we're going to be showing in this video, but I also want to take in a lot of the other reactions, a lot of the other comments. Like, this is slightly viral for the Pokemon community. We're getting a couple of comments per minute. Now, that's not a lot. That's not like absurdly massive world Twitter viral, but it is causing a very large stir in the Pokemon community. I want to kind of show all sides, what a lot of people are saying about it, and kind of how all this folds back into each other, and what it does mean for Pokemon Showdown. So we have some of these replies. I'm confused, like, is Showdown not a common thing? Because it is an open secret, if it's even that in Pokemon. There's like 100,000 players daily. First off, I want to correct that misinformation. There's not 100,000 players daily. I went on to the Pokemon Showdown user stats. Here's what we have right here. Now, I don't know if this includes guests, but I'd imagine that it does, and these are just the amount of people that are online playing Pokemon Showdown. And these trends also kind of paint a picture as to why Pokemon Showdown is problematic. Once again, we're going to be getting back into that. Look at some of these. I mean, here we go. Just random person. They see a Kotaku article, and goodbye, Pokemon Showdown was nice knowing you. People upset. Why? Why report on Pokemon Showdown? It's already ubiquitously known about among Pokemon fans, and if they don't know, they'll stumble across it eventually the moment they get interested in competitive Pokemon. Showdown isn't a tool, it is the competitive scene. And that's a very loaded comment that I disagree with strongly, but it is the unfortunate truth that has developed. But once again, that shows why Pokemon Showdown is so problematic, because it's kind of like, we've seen this major shift in the Pokemon community, and one of the biggest reasons why I feel that Pokemon is dead, the Pokemon community is dead right now, is because there's a very big lack. I kind of like trapped myself with how I was building that sentence, but there is a lack of respect for actual real Pokemon stuff. It's all about the randomizers, it's all about the ROM hacks, it's all about the fan projects, it's all about the simulators, but when it comes to the engagement of actual Pokemon, that's actually been falling quite a lot. That people, instead of paying for a Pokemon game, they just play Pokemon Showdown. And now with the Nintendo Online service, that gives Nintendo more reason to shut them down. So there was this comment: Showdown will finally do what it never did, compete directly with paid territory. Now, I'd argue that it already did that with like Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Pretty sure thousands of people didn't buy Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon and then just played Pokemon Showdown. Same with Pokemon Let's Go. And since Pokemon Let's Go was a remake of an older game, you know, I could just see many more people just be like, why would I pay $60 just to play Generation? Like, why would I pay $60 to play modern Pokemon Stadium? Because that's effectively what the competitive scene of Pokemon Let's Go boiled down to. Now, here's the thing. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are my second favorite Pokemon games behind Heart Gold Soul Silver, and I consider them the best competitive since Generation 4 or pre-Pokemon Bank X and Y. They are great games, especially competitively, but a lot of people can just sit out that price tag and then play it on Pokemon Showdown. And we see that reflected in the graphs, that we had a bit of a spike, or, you know, more people kind of getting interested when it came to Pokemon Let's Go. And then with Pokemon Sword and Shield, the announcement of Pokemon Sword and Shield, the news drops of Pokemon Sword and Shield at the beginning of the months throughout E3 and stuff like that. People are really interested in getting back into Pokemon. So they're like, oh man, I need to refresh. I need to relearn some of the basics about competitive Pokemon to get ready for Pokemon Sword and Shield. And we're seeing this in the activity on Pokemon Showdown. So a really interesting thing is going to be seeing how this Kotaku article goes. That Nintendo America is paying attention to the bump, the attention spike that we're going to be getting from Pokemon Showdown, but we can actually use this to also see how fast Pokemon Sun and Moon died. And I blame the biggest thing being hacking. I think hacking destroyed Pokemon Sun and Moon. It made it to where all the post-game content was effectively non-existent. So people are like, yeah, so the thing is, people will hack Pokemon Sun and Moon and then say Pokemon Sun and Moon has no post-game. Like, what? But that's just the toxicity that the Pokemon community has been, you know, growing for many years now. And then we can also see like how fast it dropped off. You know, it was rising, massive spikes, people super into it, and then just gone. You know, it still ended at a higher level than Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which I find really interesting. That was able to just kind of permanently elevate competitive Pokemon. I guess a lot of this also turned into like VGC and stuff, because that got a bit more serious. And then this could also be like from like VGC events and things like that. Maybe like suspect tests on some of the higher spikes. But overall, it just kind of shows like what happened. So yeah, like Pokemon Showdown really killed Pokemon Sun and Moon as well. Why play legitimately inside of Pokemon Sun and Moon just to get hacked against and then have a pretty dead scene because everyone's starting to transition over to Pokemon Showdown for the free scene instead. Like if you're going here, where you know that we're looking at days of 20,000, 30,000 users, even months after the game has come out, you know there's going to be a lot more reliability there. So Pokemon Showdown, the unofficial simulator, ended up with a healthier competitive scene than the actual games, and that just crashed everything. I think that crashed the Pokemon community as well as Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then we're just kind of seeing these things happen back and forth. Now, the weird thing to me is the quote-unquote mainstreamness of Kotaku, that, you know, Polygon, Kotaku, Vice, BuzzFeed, just any online news site feels like it's really dropped off over the last couple of years, and no exposure from Kotaku is going to be more than the people already giving exposure to Pokemon Showdown. That I'd be surprised if more than 1% of people discovering this article are going to learn about Pokemon Showdown for the first time. It is kind of getting viral though. It is, wow, it actually is really catching fire now. Okay, so this had like 12,000 views about 20 minutes ago. So it has been picking up, but that's mostly from all these people getting like upset. You know, I saw this article when it came out like 3 hours ago. I went, okay, that doesn't really mean anything to me. I was like, yo boy, a Pokemon Showdown article came out. I've already known about it. Everyone already knows about it. This article feels like it's years late and doesn't really mean anything. But then everyone else was setting in on like the comments about it. What are the comments saying? Article was posted 3 minutes ago, which means Lou should receive his cease and desist from Nintendo. I guess Lou is the guy that makes Pokemon Showdown. You know, Pokemon Company a little under an hour. I don't think they'd C&D it since it likely enhances. It does not. And this is also the delusion that we see from Pokemon Showdown fans. You know, I could just consider it that part of the Pokemon community. Just the people that are in favor of hacking, in favor of cheating, in favor of ROM hacks, in favor of just like not real Pokemon, not supporting real Pokemon stuff. And even going back to this, you know, they were like, there's 100,000 users daily. Well, no, the peak wasn't even 100,000 users, and especially now, we're in kind of a lull as we wait for Pokemon Sword and Shield to come out. And I've had my many problems with the elitism and toxicity of Smogon for years, so little bit of delusion on that side. But yeah, like now, especially because this is going to be taking from many sales of Pokemon Sword and Shield, because it has taken from shields of sales. Like, why would anyone buy Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or just any Pokemon main series game? Why would someone buy a main series Pokemon game to waste dozens of hours of their life on the story, to then have to waste dozens of hours of their life further to make a competitive team when they can do everything in 5 minutes for free on Pokemon Showdown? That's why there's so much hacking in Pokemon right now, because if it takes longer than 5 minutes, people aren't going to do it legitimately. If Showdown isn't monetizing it, I see no need to take it down. Well, one of the problems is that they're monetizing it, but if they were, then that'd be like extra illegal. But I mean, we saw this with Pixelmon, we saw this with Uranium. It doesn't have to be monetized, it's still 100% violating copyright law. And now, this is going to cost Nintendo Switch Online subscribers. That if we're looking at, you know, tens, hundreds of thousands of people that aren't going to get Nintendo Switch Online because they don't have a need for it without Pokemon, that's going to be costing millions of dollars a month on Nintendo's end. It's not why they can't have it. Lou declined to comment on any potential legal issues. That's interesting. Tinfoil hat on. Perhaps it's a looking the other way agreement in place. I mean, that's kind of a thing. Also, how's this a news article? That's kind of another big thing. So if anything, people are clicking on out of curiosity, like, how is this a news article? Why is this a thing? Oh no, it's now going to be copyright taken down. And the thing is, Pokemon Company 100% absolutely knows about it. I mean, they prop up Wolf Glick. Wolf Glick has tweeted out about playing Pokemon Showdown many times and has even had like monetary incentive, or at least, you know, mentioning it. Hey, if I get more subs, I'll share this article. Right now I'm, you know, streaming Showdown with subscribers, viewers, stuff like that. You know, streaming viewer plus subscriber battles, so kind of money equals battle with Wolf kind of idea. I don't have anything against him for that. What I'm saying is, like, there's a lot of these extra things that are being tagged on to Pokemon Showdown with the main dude that the Pokemon Company props up in promotions and stuff like that. But we also know that the Pokemon Company isn't against hacking, and, you know, they just kind of, once again, it's another look the other way kind of thing. But the question is Big Daddy Nintendo going to finally close the book on this one? I think it needs to be done because of the reasons why I've been saying. It kills the Pokemon community because then not everyone wants to go to this site. A lot of people want to remain a legitimate player. They want to do everything by Game Freak, by official sources in that part of the community. So the community gets split. One gets overweighed with hackers because then people, they just export their team from Pokemon Showdown and then play it in the main series game. Legitimate players, they leave. Everything just kind of dies. And then we saw that with the massive drop-off of Pokemon Sun and Moon. So there was a lot of problems that ended up, well, not even ended up, there's just a lot of problems that happened because of the existence of Pokemon Showdown, and the Pokemon Company definitely knows about it. So that's a thing that goes on right there. A lot of people now talking about it. More and more results keep on popping up as well, and now this article is starting to catch fire. I don't think it's in, you know, like a mainstream kind of way. Once again, like, people are just kind of coming back to this. For YouTubers and Twitch streamers too, it's a lot easier to simply record your computer screen than modify your 3DS to share battles. That's a big one for a lot of people as well. Now that we're getting Pokemon Sword and Shield, you just get an Elgato capture device, which is like $100-something bucks, get the HD 60S, and then that's going to be good. But yeah, it used to be like the only way for the average person to put any Pokemon content up onto YouTube. It's also just like known that pretty much every VGC player, they practice on Pokemon Showdown. That's how they test out their teams before they hack them into the games to use at Worlds and stuff like that. So this mentions Wolf Glick. I do use Showdown to prepare for tournaments. Generally do some laddering and then use it to test versus other players I trust. Boom, just like that. We also have Poke-Aim. So this is another weird thing, that the Kotaku article has been bubbling for a while now, that this article is long and has a lot of work put into it and stuff. And I do kind of consider it Smogon propaganda, which is a big knock that I have on this article. Smogon is not official, and I hope that things like this article don't bring this argument back up, because back in 2013, when I came onto the Pokemon YouTubing scene, a lot of people thought that Smogon was official, and a lot of Smogon players asserted it as official. It's not as bad now, but it's starting to come back. I'm starting to see more and more comments of saying, hey, you can't use Minimize, that's banned. Hey, you can't use one-hit KOs, that's banned. Literally isn't banned. That's just it. But people are now kind of conflating Pokemon Showdown. I also blame False Swipe Gaming for that. False Swipe Gaming kind of normalizing the toxicity and just the elitism and all the bad things of Pokemon Showdown. It's very uncompetitive. It's very false Pokemon information on a competitive level, and then False Swipe Gaming effectively just like reads Smogon and pretends it's history when it isn't. So a lot of problems there that are kind of becoming mainstream again, but Pokemon Showdown Smogon community has always been kind of large. We have Poke-Aim, YouTuber who specializes in Pokemon content, told Kotaku that separating the creatures into tiers lets every Pokemon shine. Nah, we've already debunked all the Smogon arguments, but I am surprised that Poke-Aim have worked with Kotaku. We had all these things working with Kotaku. I don't follow his Discord, I don't follow his Twitter, so I don't know if like he talked about this, or if he could or couldn't, maybe, you know, just like a soft NDA on that one, or he didn't think that this is how people would react. He's just thinking, yo, publicity for Pokemon Showdown, that's going to be great. Publicity for Smogon, that's going to be great. And then ironically, that's going to be what ends up getting Pokemon Showdown shut down. You know, we're in a weird state. Once again, I don't know how the tens of thousands of views that Kotaku is going to get from 99% already Smogon players, or like not Smogon players, but already Showdown aware people, is going to rival to the millions of views on YouTube that have gotten viral spread to all kinds of different people and had far more impact in introducing people to Pokemon Showdown. But then this Kotaku article is finally what gets it shut down. I don't know where it's going to go. Pokemon Showdown has lasted so long at this point, but Pixelmon just went away one day, and then that just kind of unleashed the floodgates. And when that happened, I actually made a video discussion like, hey, is Pokemon Showdown next? I 100% believe that Pokemon Showdown needs to be shut down because it is incredibly problematic to the health of the game, to the legitimacy of the game, to the knowledge of the game, because then people start conflating Smogon rules with official rules. Pokemon Showdown only promotes more toxicity and cheating and less legitimacy and acknowledgement of like real Pokemon and stuff, so that's kind of the problem. Now here's how I do feel about Pokemon Showdown though. The battle simulator does most of those things. As for the damage calculation and the team builder, I think those are fine, except for the team builder being able to export into like PK Hex and then be used for hacking. But having like a team planner, that doesn't have any like conflict with Pokemon in a way like that. Same thing with the damage calculation. Like, those are really useful tools, but now it's kind of getting carried away to that next level where people are using Pokemon Showdown as a substitute for buying a Pokemon game. And then now there's more of a Pokemon Showdown culture than there is for competitive Pokemon. As people were saying, you know, it isn't a tool, it is the competitive scene. It's not supposed to be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. But, like, the entitlement and death of the Pokemon community has kind of led it to being this way. Then we just have other people. What makes it worse, like, Pokemon Showdown's existence isn't newsworthy because anyone even slightly into Pokemon knows about it. So now people are just upset. It's like, oh, they did this for clicks. This is getting clicks. It's getting a skyrocketing amount of clicks. You know, if we're getting hundreds of views a minute, that's pretty significant, especially with how dead Pokemon has been, especially competitive Pokemon. Competitive Pokemon is the worst I've ever seen it. I saw more liveliness in competitive Pokemon in like the early mid days of Pokemon X and Y going into Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire than we have now before going to Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's bad, but I blame Smogon for that and Pokemon Showdown for that. So we're going to see where this goes. I think it's newsworthy. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on it as well. But this is something that just kind of like blew up. I didn't expect it to, and then it did. So we got some weird stuff going on. If you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.